All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, October 12th. We got Game 5 between the Guardians and the Tigers to dive into in today's video. We are on the road, so it may be a little bit shorter of a video, but we do have 3 plays coming your way. 1 full unit play and then 2 half unit plays, and these are final plays, so I'll put them in the pinned comment, but don't worry about checking that for the final plays and whatnot because we're on the go, little hybrid video. These are actually some final plays. So the winner of this game takes on the Yankees. In terms of last night, we had the Padres over 3.5 total runs, team total, and they scored, let's see, 0 runs. Okay, and they also scored 0 runs in the last 24 innings of their season. So I thought we kind of were the contrarian and saying they'd bounce back, and they didn't. Yamamoto and the bullpen pitched really, really well. Even Darvish on the Padres side of things pitched really, really well, but 2 bad swings from Kike Hernandez and Teoscar Hernandez, home runs. So the Dodgers are advancing there to play the Mets. But yeah, let's talk about this game. Like I said, Game 5 between the Tigers and the Guardians. Looks like we're going to have Tariq Skubal on the mound going up against Matthew Boyd. I can give a lean here on the money line, and it's just simply leaning towards a pitcher. It's going to be leaning towards Skubal, but I don't think that I get there. Like we even saw it last night. Home field advantage is going to matter in these Game 5s, and though everyone loves Skubal and how good he is, I really just don't feel like it's like him and the home field advantage kind of cancel each other out in a sense. So that's my lean. But in terms of a final play, we're going right back to something that we have rolled within this series so far and got burned by, I think, 2 times. Looking at the Nerfy here. Now, it's a little juicy on FanDuel, but hear me out. Minus 150 on FanDuel. On other books, this thing is absolutely juiced to the moon. So you have it on DraftKings at minus 185. On Caesars at minus 215. So when you look at it like that, minus 150 actually looks pretty appetizing there, and we are throwing a full unit on it. So in terms of Skubal, his last 5 starts, he's hit the Nerfy in 4 of them, all 2, both of his playoff starts on the road here this season when he has been pitching. 60% of his games have hit the Nerfy, including 3 of the last 4. You flip it over to Matthew Boyd, right? Matthew Boyd starting for the Guardians. In terms of how he's done on the year, only a handful of starts under his belt, right? But 4 of his 5 starts at home did cash the Nerfy, including the playoff game against Detroit in, what was that, game number 2 or 3 on the 7th. So we have 2 pitchers here that I do think can get through 6 outs of these lineups. And so far, I mean, other than I guess you could say game number 4 here, it's really been pitcher's duel, right? Like either team has scored, or both teams in certain games have scored 0 runs. Game number 1, 7-0 win for the Guardians. Game number 2 and 3, same score, 3-0 win for the Tigers. Then all of a sudden we saw some late scoring. It was a 5-4 game in game number 4. But even still, Tanner Bybee, Reese Olson, neither starter got dinged up there. I think it was like 2 runs through the first few innings. So a Nerfy here in this spot. I feel like we've been due a Nerfy in this series because the pitching's been so good, and we haven't hit it yet. So Nerfy is going to be play number 1 in this spot again. Tariq Skubal should be the, knock on wood, but should be the concrete play here. And Matthew Boyd, if he does anything like he did a couple starts ago, in which we had him over 11.5 innings, and he pitched like 5 innings. If he does anything like that, I do think he can get through that first inning as well. Now we move on to, I guess this is kind of a quirky one. I'm not sure where to play this other than DraftKings, but race to 5 runs. You can pick either, Detroit, Cleveland, or neither. For minus 140, again, kind of juicy here. Half unit on neither team. We've only seen 1 team hit 5 runs. Now, if you're going to say the excitement of Cleveland being at home, or maybe the Tigers are really backing Skubal and they're going to go and score 5 runs, sure, but there's nothing data-driven on the side that says that they'll do that. In terms of Cleveland, like I said, in this series, I think that they scored, I guess, 2 times, right? In the last 3 games, only 1 team has done it. Cleveland did it in 7-0 in game number 1, but that was a week ago. So in the last week, we've seen 5 runs 1 time. We've seen 0 runs in this series 3 different times. Cleveland did it once or twice, and Tigers did it once, right? So this could be a 4-3 game. Either way, Tigers win or the Guardians win. But I don't know if it's all that much of a lock that either team scores 5 runs, especially with, one, the way Matthew Boyd's pitching, that bullpen behind him as well. And then Tariq Skubal can give you probably 7 innings if they need to. He'll throw his arm off today to try and advance his team. So neither team to get to that spot in terms of how they're facing both pitchers being lefties, right? So if we look at this from the last 30 days perspective, what I really do like is, well, Cleveland hits lefties well, but they're going up against the best pitcher in the league, or one of the 2 best pitchers in the league, right, in Skubal. But Detroit, on the other side of things, going up against a lefty who Matthew Boyd's been good at home this year, and their offenses look pretty solid, but fifth worst average last 30 days, 197 average against lefties. Their WRC plus is just 67, also the fifth worst, actually might be the fourth worst. They're striking out the second most times to lefties. And then from a power perspective, OPS, ISO, and slugging, 27th, 26th, and 26th in terms of ranking. So I like this sort of matchup for neither team to have a go-off type of performance. Now, if they get to both bullpens and whatnot, sure, but basing this off the starters, I think that we should get a low-scoring game through the first 5 or 6 innings. And the reason we're not going with any sort of a full game under or a first 5 unders because this total is all the way down at a crazy number of 5.5. So first 5 is like a 3.5 line, 2.5 line. That's way too low for me. And even the full game at 5.5 is way too low. So figured this is a way of kind of taking somewhat of an under without having to take the under. So race to 5 runs, neither team here, minus 140 over on DraftKings. And then our last play is a player prop. Johnsky Noel under 0.5 bases. Near even odds over on Caesars, minus 103. I think he's only been on base, and it was a walk in game number 1. So he's yet to get a hit here. And if you don't know, walks don't count as bases. But I like this spot against Tarek Skubal. Yes, he's going to come in and also, if he sticks around long enough, face the bullpen. But this is a guy that only has 1 base in his last 10 games. He only has, I think it's 4 bases in his last 20 games. He's hit the under in 17 of his last 20. On the season, 61% of his games he's hit the under. Against left-handed pitchers, he's been okay, but against lefties on the at home, he's actually been a little bit worse. So I like this spot again. This is very much driven by the fact that I don't think a lot of runs are going to be in this game. He's going up against the best pitcher in the AL today, so he should at least get 2 or 3 at bats where he kind of whiffs. So yes, we'll see him get to the bullpen and anything kind of goes there. But in the sense of Tarek Skubal going up against Noel, I'll take Skubal all day long. And that's going to wrap it up for our 3 plays here. If you guys did enjoy this, and I appreciate when you guys are still liking the videos and whatnot when we're on the road, but hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, keep helping people out. There's a lot of people in the comments that are a hell of a lot smarter than me and giving better plays. I mean, look at the play last night, right? Over 3.5 runs for the Padres. They've gone 24 straight innings without a run. So how good are we over here? So make sure you're dropping your plays in the comments and helping people out. And if you do find a play in the comments, let that person know you're riding with them. Hit that like button on their comment and everything like that. But that's all I have for you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.